What every CEO can learn from schools. As a decision maker in business or the CEO or any key executive, what you want is you want to understand how well things are going. You want to have regular meetings in which people update you on progress. And what we tend to do is we have these backwards looking meetings where people simply look into the past and you basically look at how did things go last year, last quarter. And for me, there's an analogy with how schools are run and how we are assessing progress in schools. As a governor of a big school, I actually see this in practice. So I've just recently become a governor for the school my children go to, just to get an idea of what is happening. And in schools, what we tend to do is we teach something for a period of time, and at the end of the period, we then have an exam that then assesses how well you have retained this bit of knowledge. So the overall purpose of a school is obviously to teach children something, to prepare them for the future. And then what we do is we have these exams. And these exams at the end of a period are called summative exams. And I believe that they very often drive the wrong behaviors, because in kids, it basically drives the behavior of cramming or focusing purely on the exam. I remember I was teaching some undergraduates at Cambridge University, and I didn't enjoy this particularly because no one was paying attention unless I used the word exam, and then everyone lit up and woke up and basically started scribbling down what they needed to know. The other challenge is that in the schooling system is that now teachers are assessed on exam progress in kids. So they might have taken an exam in the previous period. Now teachers need to demonstrate that the kids have made sufficient progress and perform well in the next exam. So suddenly a teacher has a real incentive to try to train kids to pass exams rather than inspire and motivate them to learn and close some of the knowledge gaps they have. So I feel that these summative exams at the end are purely backwards looking. They're driving the wrong behavior in children because they're focusing purely on meeting the exam, and sometimes they would cheat to achieve them. And it is driving the wrong behavior in teachers because they are now teaching kids to pass exams. So again, one of my sons is currently going through this phase where in their school they have this big assessment in year 6, which determines how well the school has done in terms of showing progress and teaching kids. And basically they spent the last 3 months on one mock exam after the other. So this is, for me, not what teachers should be doing. They should inspire kids, especially in this new world where we need lifelong learning. We need a passion for learning, and this is not helping. What is interesting is there's the debate in education. How can we make this assessment a bit more formative? So instead of this assessment at the end of the period, the role of the teacher is to continuously assess progress and then identify gaps in someone's knowledge so they can then inspire and motivate to learn. This for me is what organizations should be doing, and I feel that in lots of organizations we do this at the end of the period exam. So we have quarterly performance reviews where the executive team sits together, someone presents where they are, have they met their targets, yes or no. But a bit like in school exams, the focus is the past. If you didn't get the exam result you wanted to, you simply move on to focus on the next exam, rather than on filling some of the gaps that you had in the previous, leading to the previous exam. And in this formative assessment, it completely changes this because the focus here is on the future. It's about identifying gaps in someone's knowledge, and then the focus is on helping them to close those gaps and learning and improving. And I feel that this is what organizations need to do. So when I coach executive teams, when I work with organizations doing this in practice, I help them to create these performance review meetings. Maybe we change the name from a performance review to a performance improvement or performance preview meeting. So the focus is no longer the past, the focus is the future, where we introduce these formative assessments, where the discussion should be about, okay, where are some of the gaps? Can we identify things we need to do differently in the next quarter? And how do we then do this to actually improve performance in the future? So these are the things. What CEOs can learn from schools is to move from these summative, exam-driven performance reviews to these formative, forward-looking performance discussions. If you would like to learn more, head to my website at bernardmar.com, where you can find tons of articles, white papers and videos that will give you a lot more insights into real-world case studies and examples.